I feel like too, like even having a guest, like we should have prepared some fun guest questions, but we didn't.
Nah, it's all.
I can ask the question I always ask.
Yeah.
Do you have any ghost stories?
He loves this shit.
I do not. My grandmother told a story about a ghost pulling her hair years ago, but I don't believe in. I don't believe in.
I got a laugh from down below.
Thank you.
I got a giggle. That's funny.
Yeah, my grandmother was crazy, but I don't believe in ghosts.
Why don't you believe?
I mean, it's just like, look, I would love to see a ghost. People, like, if I am in spooky places or scary places where I'm like, this feels weird, I do this switch in my head where I'm like, I want to see a ghost because then that's evidence that there's an afterlife. Like, that's how I see it. So I would fucking never be scared to see a ghost. I'd be like, this is fucking awesome. This means that I go on after death. But there's just zero.
We should have done a Ouija board
evidence.
today together.
We should have did a Ouija board.
I'm not afraid of any of it. I would have done it.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Really?
Devils, all that stuff. I don't think any of it goes down.
Speaking of spooky and stuff, do you do haunted houses?
Haunted houses?
Yeah, do you do
Yeah,
that?
I just did a haunted I just did a haunted train in New Hope, Pennsylvania.
A haunted train?
Cool.
First of all, we did this haunted train.
Like a steam locomotive?
Steam locomotive.
Oh,
New
nice.
Hope, Pennsylvania. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
You walk into the train. So we thought.
The train station at the bridge between Lambertsville and New Hope?
Here it is.
Okay.
That's
Wow.
it.
Whoa.
Big time.
Someone does a lot of shopping. Someone does a lot of shopping in the New Hope area.
Somebody's into candles.
Wood carved frogs.
Yeah. So we had a little kid train. There's a little kid train there called the Spoogly train. It's like, it literally, if the people from New Hope, we had a great time as a family there, but I mean, it was a little ridiculous. You had an elderly woman walking up and down a train, a steam locomotive so loud, reading a story from a book with a full mask on and no microphone. I mean, my kids couldn't care. No child on that train cared at all.
She was trying to tell a scary story
And
not mic'd with a mask on.
In pure daylight.
Right.
So she would start telling the story and then go all the way down the train car and then come back. My kids missed 80% of what she said because she was all the way down there.
Right.
So we were like, whatever, but we still had a good time. But then the adults went on. We had somebody watch the kids. The adults, we went on the nighttime, like, scary haunted train, and we thought we were just gonna get on a train. And it was going to be smoke and fog and scary music, and maybe people jump out of the woods because you go deep into the woods. And that eventually did get to that. But you go into the train and there's some guy who's a regular guy, and you can't see because only calling up two or what you could only walk in with your party. So if it was 2, 4, 5, whatever. But once you go in, you can't see what's going on. So the guy comes out normal. He goes, "How many in your party?" And we were like, 2. He goes, "Oh, great, right this way." And then we step into a compartment, and then he slams the door. And I was like, holy shit!
He just turns on you.
Yeah, and then the lights immediately go out. Like full dark, and then another door in front of you opens like a huge freight train. We're on a freight train door opens, and it's you're in now a full haunted house where he goes, it's just like all ghouls and everything, and you have to walk through. They're up in your face. They got knives. They're cutting off your fingers. Like, literally terrifying. Where I was like, oh my god! And you keep walking through, and you're like, I can't do this for an entire train car.
Yeah.
And then you get to one, you see like light, and then you see another worker is at the end, and he's like, "How many in your party?" And then you go on to the actual train, and then you sit down, and then what they do is they give you drinks and adult themed. It's pretty cool. And you sit and you're like, "Oh, fine. That at least we're not going to be scared. It's just going to be fun through the woods." They got like Halloween lights. They're playing like Thriller and stuff, and then the lights go out on the train and fog because we sat in the middle of the train. So I'm like, if anyone's coming,
I want to go to this
because I said if anybody's coming from the front and the back, I told my girl, I said we won't be scared because if they do pull some shit and hijinks, we would know whatever way they come from. By the time we get to the middle, we know. But then fog fills the entire train. You can't see who's next to you. So then they just start coming out with crazy shit. And you're literally terrified for 45 minutes sitting on that goddamn train.
I can't do it. There's that new thing now. It's like that next level shit that if you see it, there's like one in every city now where it's like you sign a waiver and you go in alone. One of them's full nude.
The Halloween houses? Yeah.
But you got to go nude, I think. But
you have to be naked or the workers
they
are
want you
naked?
to be very vulnerable. But then another one, and another one. I said that there is
don't do
nudity in it. So you sign this waiver, you step in. It is pitch black, and you go through alone. And they're allowed to. You're signing it that they're allowed to physically rough you up too.
No.
And you go through, and it's like an hour long. They say not a lot of people can make it through. And people in every room, it's insane. Like people will throw you against the wall.
Yeah, I did one of
and
those.
like put a knife to your throat.
You did that?
I did, yeah. If you don't want to get touched, they put a red X on your head so the actors know not to touch you.
Well, no, I did the thing with the red X, but that was just
Right.
like a regular thing. And I'm such a puss that every time someone came in the room, I was like, red X, red X.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. We're in
And I was
Pittsburgh
like,
or
Red X,
something.
don't touch me. Because one time I was in one, I don't like to go, but as long as I go and I have a wall of people around me. And another thing I do is I close my eyes. Because of Halloween Horror, we did it in where you love to go, in Universal.
Yes. Yeah.
So I had a wall of people around me. I was in the center, but I would just keep my head down, hold the friends down, and keep my head down and close my eyes so I don't see anything. Because I can't take the anticipation of someone going to grab me. I just can't have a heart attack. So I would go red X. But then one time I was in one, and it was before I was on television. Right? Or before I was in the public. And one of the guys came out and he was in the room and he was walking, he had a black mask and he went, Sal. And I freaked out. I was like, what the fuck? And I just ran out an exit door behind.
How did they know?
The setup, and I just ran out until it was in literally in a field. And then he came out afterwards. He pulled off his mask. It was one of my old bar patrons.
Oh, it's so funny.
Sal.
Yeah.
I did because I love Key West. It's like my favorite place, and they have a great, because I like haunted, like all the mythology of ghosts. I fucking love. So they have these haunted tours in Key West where you get in. It's like a trolley, and they take you around, and you get boozed up. You smoke a little weed. You get on. It's fucking great. And it's a trolley made up to look like a hearse, and the person that's giving the tour is dressed like a ghost and is in character, and they're like, I was a pirate, and then they give it. It's a great tour, and I've probably done it 5 times. So I did it this couple of months back, and I got this one woman. We were hammered, and we're on there, and it's like the entire time all she talked about was slavery in Key West and how the ghosts of slaves come up, and it was like, and I had been building it up to like Jiggy and Brian Johnson, and I was like, guys, it's so much fun. We're gonna get hammered. They go and they talk about this one guy that fucked a dead body. There's a haunted doll. Like, oh my god, old pirate shit. We get in. It was a 100% slavery action the entire time, and it's just like the energy, everybody just started. And then by the end, and then she pulls up to a slave graveyard, and she gets out with a cane, which I'd never seen before, and she just starts going, here's a grave, here's a grave, here's a grave, slave grave, slave grave. What? That's a grave. And we're all sitting there watching her on the thing, and we're just like, sorry guys, like it was the biggest bummer. We got off it and we just went to bed, and it was like 11 o'clock at night.
Should check the website. It's probably new management.
No management.
It was fucking something. I was like, this is not why I'm on vacation.
Don't be a fake, don't be a flake, don't run away from your feelings, babe. Don't be afraid, don't be ashamed, don't hesitate.